Hey guys, excited to have the new Mercury 4-stroke out here. We're breaking it in today. So what I did was came down to the Chesapeake Bay, launched here in the Northeast. I like going to a place where I can just drive. So the first 2 hours of the break-in is the most important, and then up until 10, there's some limitations and some things you need to follow just to make sure your motor's ready to go. But this is the most important process when getting this motor started. You want to make sure you seat those rings really well. That's what's going to make the best performance for your motor long term. So it's going to be really important. Just make sure you follow these step by step. If you go through the Mercury guide, it tells you exactly what you need to do, and I'm going to give you that info here too. So the first 2 hours we were talking about, that's where I'm going to be running this motor. I'm going to keep it trimmed all the way down. So over at our dash here, make sure your motor's trimmed down. That way you're putting the maximum amount of load on there. And what you're going to do is run it up to 4,500 RPMs, and you're going to keep varying it. So you're going to go up to 45, drop it down to 35, maybe pull it up to 4, drop it down to 2,500. Just kind of keep varying it. But then what's important is once every 10 minutes is when you're going to not stop, but you're going to keep moving, and you're going to open it wide open. So that's where you're going to run it wide open, maximum speed. That's what's really seating those rings in there, getting your motor just really squared away and good. So you're going to do that once every 10 minutes, and you're going to do that for the first 2 hours. So what I like to do here, I'm going to flip you around in a second, is show you kind of my gauges, what I'm watching, where I'm looking at, and how I do this. So give me 1 second. We're going to flip around. So when you're looking at this, the 10-minute mark is where you're going to have to really pay attention. So you can see here, you want to have your time up, so that way you know when that 10-minute mark is to run it wide open. Other than that, you're going to be running between 0 and 4,500 RPMs. Down here we got our SmartCraft gauge. Turn that on real quick, and this is where I'm going to watch my RPM. So you'll see here it'll cycle through, and then once we get all the way set up, this is what you really got to pay attention to as you're running it. That way you know where you're at RPM wise. So here it's on the very top, and you're going to just kind of keep watching that. You'll keep varying it up to 4,500 RPMs, then run it wide open for that 1 minute out of every 10. If you go next here, we'll be able to get the hours. You can actually see your fuel flow, fuel use. Sorry, it's a little glary there. It's just kind of a bad angle. Battery voltage. You can also see your RPMs there if you would like to look at it that way. Keep going, and then there you go. There's the hours. So we can see this sucker's brand new. I got 0.2 hours on it. We're about to do that break-in process and get it all squared away. So what I do is I pull a map up. I pull my 2D up. You have the two of those, and then you can just kind of see we're going to run on the Chesapeake here. We're going to make a long run. We'll just head down that way. I usually run about an hour, and then I know about that time I can turn around. I picked a day here, super flat out, really nice. I think it's almost 50 degrees, so you can't beat that for almost December. But we're going to kind of go putt around, get this all squared away, get those 2 hours in, and then after that, basically you run the motor from hour 2 to 10 as you normally would, but avoid running wide open for more than 5 minutes at a time. That combination of doing the first 2 hours and then that next 8 will get you to that 10, and that's what really gets your motor set up and ready to go, and then you're gonna have a nice long life out of your Mercury motor. So it's ready. Get that sucker fired up. Oh, she's purring. So we're gonna get out here and get after it. We're 1 hour into the break-in, and a couple other things I thought about as I've been driving around here. This hoodie that I got from Bascat, I think it's an AFCO. It's got this built-in like scarf thing. Awesome. Keep your face all protected from the wind. It's almost 50 here today, but doesn't feel that cold when you're running around all over the place. So that's something. Hat's really important. I wish I would have brought earplugs for when I'm running a little bit faster. I like to keep that wind out of my ears. Gloves we got on. The other thing I could have added on to would be went with the sneakers. Maybe not the best choice. I even brought the boots, left them in the truck when I got out, and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel too bad. Well, feet are frozen at this point. One other thing here, I don't know if you can see that screen, but that's the one I was telling you about before. I was showing one that could show RPM, one that showed hours. This is actually all on one screen, so that's kind of nice. It's under the volts, hours section. But we're working our way through this. One last thing I can take you. I've started in the northeast up here. I went down, went up the Elk River, turned around about here, did a big loop around the flat. Now I'm heading back down. I think I'm gonna work my way down the bay a little bit. The weather's pretty good here today, like wind-wise. It was supposed to be light and variable, which was the main reason I came down today. A little bit more than that. It's probably a little 5 mile per hour wind or so. Depending on where you're at, if it's wide open, sometimes you get a little bit of bouncing, but it's all good. Boat's going well, breaking that new motor in. That Mercury is awesome. Love it. 5th one I've had now. 3 on Bass Cats, 2 on the Tritons. So if you're in the market, highly recommend it. Check them out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you please subscribe and put them in the comments below. We'll talk to you guys soon.